All right, YouTube, what's going on? Boston 42 here. Zach, the Celtics guy here, as all of you know, but AKA. But anyway, hope everyone's having a good day today. And I wanted to get on here and talk about a world issue going on between the country of Nepal, located in the Himalayan region of South Asia, and a massive unrest that is circulating in that country at the moment over a US gift, like literally an American aid package to Nepal over an issue, over like, I guess, a grant to like help them with their infrastructure and so on and so forth. And there's massive numbers of people in Nepal that are protesting against this, acting like it's a violation of Nepalese sovereignty and so on and so forth. And some think that, oh, this is going to help Nepal and so on and so forth. So it's basically getting mixed messages all around. And I'd like to explain and get on here and talk about this while it's still relevant, and why I think it's hilarious and amusing at the same, but at the same time kind of ridiculous. What I think about this is this. I think, and I have a little theory about this, and I said this on my Facebook, so any of my friends who follow this channel and know me on Facebook will see this and know my theory also, but I want to reiterate my theory, and let me explain my theory to you guys. You cannot sit there and tell me that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, our government is going to be giving money to Nepal, a country that is on the border of India and China, over Russia is at war with Ukraine. India backs Russia strategically. China also backs Russia strategically. The Biden administration is fucking pissed about that and is triggered about that. And I personally don't give a shit who they support. So Nepal is located geographically between it's in the Indian subcontinent, it's on the border of India and on the border of China. So what do I think of this? I think this is a way for the US to funnel money into Nepal so that we can wield more influence and more imperialist influence onto Nepal, because we have a fucking beef with India and China over Russia and Ukraine. The timing. Look at the timing. Look at the timing. There wasn't anything like this before. $500 million of a program funded by a U.S. government aid agency over to Nepal, located on the Indian borders and the Chinese borders, and while the Biden administration is pissed off with India and China because they're backing Russia over Ukraine. Like, come on now. Like this is totally a setup for us to go, and not for us as Americans, but us as our fucking imperialist government, the status quo, to wield more influence in that sphere of the world, in the Asia Pacific region, in the South Asia region, where China has a significant amount of influence. And of course, because our government thinks it's the world's sole superpower, so we have the most influence, and we want to out-influence China and Russia and all that and so on. It's all for fucking imperialist purposes. It's all for imperialist purposes. So why are these people protesting? I can understand why they're protesting. I can understand where the Nepalese are coming from. Because think about it. They probably know what the fuck is up. They're probably thinking, wow, our country is located between India and China. Or I don't know if they're in between India and China, but you get what I mean. And situated there geographically, Nepal is like the gateway to that part of the world. It's like the gateway. Like Nepal is generally it's a politically stable country per se, but it's still very poor, because a lot of those countries, now you got to understand why these people are protesting. They're protesting because They know exactly what the U.S. is trying to do. They know that the U.S. is trying to do this for bullshit imperialist reasons. Because they're thinking, since when do you Americans give the fuck about us? Like, you never gave the fuck about us before. All of a sudden you want to help us out. All of a sudden now, while Russia's fighting Ukraine and you're pissed off with India and China and so on, like, no, get the fuck out of here. This is a violation of our sovereignty and whatnot. So yeah, I can understand where the Nepalese people are coming from. And you know, let me just say this. I've made that expression a lot of times on this channel. I can understand where people are coming from. Like, I can understand where the Cubans are coming from for locking up right-wing authoritarians. I can understand where people are coming from when they're pissed off about road fatalities and there's these big fucking mobs. And by the way, that also occurs in Nepal too, but that's a whole nother story. It really just comes down to, these people understand, because these parts of the world are still very poor. A lot of them are rife with corruption. They are rife with, you know, religious indoctrination. And, you know, this is why I don't support religion of any stretch. I mean, I am an agnostic. I believe in, you know, I am to some extent a believer in God. I'm generally a spiritual person. I'm not a member of any religion, but I respect everybody's religious views and whatnot, but that's besides the point. You know, I mean, as a person who, I do believe in a God to some extent, not any God in particular, but I believe in the possibility of one, if that makes any sense. I do believe that there is one to some extent. But anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. It just goes to show that, and there's this religious indoctrinism, a lot of religious extremism and all that goes on in that region between, you know, it's a big fucking mess. You know, it's just a big fucking mess. You got Pakistan, that's at war with India. You got Nepal situated between India and China. You know, and then Bangladesh on this side, that's also very poor, rife with corruption, rife with crime, rife with authoritarianism and human rights abuses and so on. So these countries are very poor. They're still very poor. A lot of them are underdeveloped. It's a big hot mess. So what does the U.S. do with countries like this? We take advantage of countries like that. That's what these fucking politicians do. They take advantage of these fucking places. They take advantage of these places, especially poor countries near bigger global powers like Russia, China, and so on and so forth. So that's what they try to do. And like I said, again, I'm not a believer of any God or religion in particular. I believe in a God. I believe in religion. You know, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in, you know, like peace and harmony and things like karma. What goes around comes around. But when you got religious indoctrination like this, yeah, this leads to poverty, corruption, political tension, and so on. So that's why a lot of these countries are still very poor to this day. And now you got big powers like the U.S. trying to take advantage of them and so on. So this is what they're doing. They're trying to funnel money into Nepal. And these people are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like it's so obvious that the timing is not a coincidence. You got Russia and China fighting. India backs Russia because I guess they get Russian technology or what the fuck ever, you know? And then China backs Russia, you know, the two big powers, they back each other, whatever. And then Nepal is kind of a neutral country. It's like a neutral country. It's like the Switzerland of South Asia. So you got them. And then you got them on the sidelines. They see what the fuck's going on. And then you see the U.S. trying to do this. So a lot of people in Nepal are thinking, yeah, the U.S. is trying to violate our sovereignty. These politicians in the Biden administration are trying to violate our sovereignty. And they're trying to violate our sovereignty so they can try to spy on Russia and China, so they can try to spy on us and try to get to Russia and China and try to wield their imperialism into our country. You know, that's what they're thinking, and I can understand why they feel that way, because it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, hey, it's not like we don't exploit poor countries and poor people and all that. It's not like we don't do that. It's not like we haven't done that to Latin America, the Caribbean, and South America, and put in right-wing dictators. You know, like need I go on? Chile, Brazil, Cuba, Argentina, and the list goes on and on. So you don't think we're trying to sit there and try to do this to Nepal, not overthrow Nepal's government, but but come on now. Come on, man. You know exactly that this is what they're trying to do here. You know that this is what they're trying to do here. And no, I don't support the Putin regime. I don't support the Chinese regime because I think they're both fucking authoritarian, cultish regimes. And I don't think, I don't know too much about how India is. I know India is still very poor. It's mostly an oligarchy at this stage of the game. I mean, it always has been, as far as I've read in history and whatnot. So yeah, you got these big fucking global powers that are oligarchies, and they don't give a fucking rat's ass about the people. Look at our country. The US is a fucking oligarchy. Brazil is a fucking oligarchy. China is an oligarchy. Russia's an oligarchy. India's an oligarchy. They're all fucking oligarchies. Oligarchy is fucking cancer, because you got these fucking assholes trying to wield influence in poor countries like Nepal and Bangladesh and countries on their neighboring borders, and then they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that, and yeah, no, people in Nepal are seeing this, but now the US is trying to do this. China is probably trying to do it too. What do they think about China? Well, I read that most of these people protesting are communist, or they're members of a communist party or so on. Which, who gives a fucking rat's ass, Because any fucking person would see that and think, oh my God, they're just anti-American. Oh my God, they're cute. They're like backed by the Chinese Communist Party and blah. Yeah, okay, it's like all these people, these thousands of people protesting against the U.S. violating their sovereignty, or trying to anyways, is a bunch of fucking red commies. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's not what this is about. This is about people saying, like, hey, we know what's up, we know what you're trying to do, and we don't want the Nepalese government taking charge of this. And by the way, even if Nepal's infrastructure isn't very good. I mean, I've read articles where, yeah, road conditions in Nepal are not very good because they're still underdeveloped. I don't know how true that is because I've never been to Nepal. I'm not making any judgments. I'm not making any biases one way or the other. But what about our country? What about our fucking crumbling infrastructure? What about all of this? What about the fucking gravel roads in Wisconsin? And there's even fucking roads in a lot of parts of Mass that still have fucking potholes. Even roads up in New Hampshire, some of them are still not that great. You got rural roads in fucking butt-fuck nowhere Texas that are fucking falling apart. Bridges collapsing in Pennsylvania and shit like that. Yeah, our country's infrastructure looks like a fucking third world country. Okay? Compared to other first world nations, it's a joke. So why are we trying to sit there and think, oh my God, we're going to try to help Nepal's infrastructure? What about our infrastructure? Oh, and by the way, if anyone wants to think, oh my God, Zach, why are you saying that about our country and our infrastructure? You know that Donald fucking Trump made that same argument, okay? And he was right. I fucking hate Trump, but you know what? He was right about that. That, yeah, we should be fixing our roads and our bridges and things like that. Well, you know what? Orange Man happened to be right on one thing in particular. And when he's right, he's generally right by accident, but that's a whole nother story. So no, I can understand where the Nepalese people are coming from. Because, well, I think the thought of it is nice to say, hey, we want to help you out and fix your roads and infrastructure and prevent people from dying on Nepalese roads. Yeah, that's all well and good. And yeah, that way they won't have to worry about fucking hostile crowds forming after an accident, because that does happen in third world countries. I'm not saying Nepal is a third world country, but I'm just saying that it happens, and you can understand why, and you can understand, I can condemn violence. You know my video on that whole thing I did the other day. But yeah, no, it just goes to show that, yeah, this is a way for us to do power grabs and wield more influence in that region to counter Russia and China. And to counter India because we're so-called, we're pissed off with them over Russia and Ukraine. So no, I know exactly what this is about. And the Nepalese people know what this is about. And if anybody from Nepal comes across this, understand that I, as an American, I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel about this, because you know what? I understand. Our politicians, they suck, okay? That they fucking suck, okay? All of them. Fucking Biden sucks. The Republicans suck. They all fucking suck. It's a joke. Like it's a joke. I want our country to do the good things for these countries without this fucking bullshit. And yeah, it would be a good thing if that was the case, but you gotta understand, it's not. This is what it is. And I'm calling it like it is. So yeah, I know all the thousands of people that are dying on Nepalese roads. Yeah, what about all the ones dying here? What about all the ones that are what about our fucking crumbling roads and infrastructure here? Why don't we fucking fix that shit first? Before we go and try to fix somebody else's. Okay, Nepal's roads might be shit. Okay? But so are our roads in most of the country. Especially in rural areas. So why don't we do that first before worrying about somebody else's? And why don't we worry about our country first before we worry about somebody else's? Especially when this country is situated between two big global powers that we want to fucking get even with because we're pissed off at them for bullshit geopolitical reasons. It's fucking bullshit. So, enough is enough. Fuck imperialism. Enough is enough. Okay? This is all what this is about. This is all just rhetoric. This is all just window dressing and just a way to try to claim we're trying to help Nepal, but it's not. Okay? Get the fuck out of here. It's not. It's all just talking. It's all just a way for imperialism and nothing more. I mean, I could be wrong, but hey, that's just me. But apparently Nepal's parliament did ratify this. They did approve of it. I'm sure more protests are going to come out against it, I can imagine. But that's for the people of Nepal to decide. That's for the government of Nepal to decide. Nepal is a sovereign country. They have a right. If they want to approve a deal with the US, that's all well and good. If they want to approve a deal with... They probably figure, well, if we don't, we're probably going to get... So they probably feel a little pressured, if that makes any sense. Because if they went and ratified a deal like this with China, you know how the U.S. would react. We would fucking bitch and moan like little bitches. Our politicians would be bitching and moaning. We know exactly what it would be, especially if it was with Russia. So, yeah, no. But anyway, I just want to get on here and talk about this because this part of the world, there's a lot going on. And I thought it was hilarious. And I think it's hilarious how... that our country's government believes that China's behind a disinformation campaign against the Pact. It ain't disinformation, it's the fucking truth. It's the fucking truth. And if China's actually saying that, then China might be onto something. They might be onto something. Okay, you know, Xi Jinping, hey, Mr. Winnie the Pooh himself, he might be onto something. No offense to Winnie the Pooh. I mean, that's not to insult Winnie the Pooh, but hey, he might be onto something. So no, I personally don't care. It's between Nepal and the U.S. It's between Nepal and their neighbors and other countries they have deals with, and nothing more. I couldn't care less what Nepal does with their country's government because it's for them to decide. It's for the people of Nepal to decide, and that's pretty much the end of it. Okay. And if people want to protest, they have every right to do it too. And I can understand how they feel. Because it's not like our country's government has a good track record in much of the world, especially in Asia, and especially in Africa, and especially in Latin America. So you can understand how they feel. I understand how they feel. And hey, you know, I understand where they're coming from. So... I'm just hoping for the best, and my thoughts are with the people of Nepal. My thoughts are with the people of Russia, China, and India, and other countries that live under oligarchies and under religious fanaticism. But not saying that Nepal is, not making any judgments, but y'all know how it goes. But anyway, I'm going to end it here. Thank you all. I got other things I got to do today, but thank you all for listening. I'll see you all again soon. Other content in the works. Stay tuned to find out more videos on the way. This is Zach the Celtics guy, aka Boston 42, reporting here with the news and world affairs and reporting on stuff that the media will not report about, and definitely our fucking government will not report on, because they don't report on this and they just blame everybody and anything else on it and not making good judgments about the Pact, whatever the fuck it is. The whole thing is just really fucked up, and that's why I wanted to talk about it with you guys today. So, because the whole thing is just fucked up. Bye for now. Peace out and have a good day.